Welcome to the start of the fall term. The first thing that we're going to do as we start working in unpacking and exploring what we mean by new literacies and how we navigate this new digital landscape that we all find ourselves immersed in each day is to establish a bit of our own digital identities and digital footprints. We're going to do this in two different spaces. The first is our course blog. That's what's on the screen right now. This will be the space in which often you'll find some musings from me, some links to related resources, but more importantly to your success in the course, you'll also find tutorials and screencasts that will help you through some of the tinkering projects. The other part of what's important to this course blog site is it's where we'll house our weekly discussions about the readings. You'll receive a separate email from me this week that will let you know when you are scheduled to facilitate those dialogues. And I'll get you added into the course blog as an author later on in the week. But I want to distinguish, this is the course blog. You're also going to be creating your own individual blogging space where you'll be doing some reflective writing, where you'll be posting some of your work. And today, and during this week, you're going to be posting an introduction to yourself, a vlog entry. In order to do that, you have to have an account set up at the site that we're going to be using, which is WordPress.com. WordPress.com is a free blogging housing space, I guess we're going to call it. It's a password protected environment. So once you've created a login, that password stays with you. For those of you who are new to WordPress, you're going to click on Get Started here. And there's a pretty simple sequence of steps to get your account started and to also get your blog created. Here's an important thing to think about. When you're creating your blog address, which is the very first step in the process, you're creating the address or the URL for your page. You're creating a part of your digital identity or your digital footprint. I recommend keeping this professional. I also recommend that you don't just limit it to something for this course. It's possible you might create a following inside of your blog during the time that we're working together, and you'll want to keep that and keep the momentum behind your writing and your reflecting and your thinking about your pedagogy and your practice. So to that end, you might want to choose something a little bit more general. A friend of mine is Bud the Teacher. That way he hasn't identified his specific name, and yet at the same time we understand the purpose and the function of his blog just by looking at that address. Sometimes I've given blog URLs the title of the purpose of the course. Sometimes I've given, as I have in our case, I have some personal blogs that I maintain, but for the purpose of what we're doing right now, maybe I'll just be Ms. Cater. You set your own username. It figures. I've already done it under that name, but this current name is Resigned. Great. I'm going to put in a password and I'm going to confirm it. I'm going to ignore that upper message for right now because I'm just modeling for you what you'll go ahead and do. This will be independent to yourself. Your password, I recommend keeping it 7 to 8 characters. I'd put in something that's uppercase and I'd put in a special item. Do blogs get hacked? Sometimes. Would I use the same password here that I use for my bank account or for any other account that I have? No. This should be something that's unique. I think it makes things infinitely more complicated when you have a variety of passwords. That's just a 21st century literacy. It's something that we're each navigating all the time. Figure out a password that makes sense to this site. Keep it unique to this site and write it down somewhere safe that you'll have. You're going to want to put your email address here. You're going to need to put an email address in that you actually check because they'll be sending you a verification link after you've signed up by clicking down at the bottom, sign up, after you have all the fields completed. It'll send you a verification email. You will receive a link in there. You'll click on that link once you read the email and it will start getting things activated for you. Once you get your blog set up, you'll have a username and a password. Helps when I use the right one. And you're going to go up under blogs. You'll see I have a couple up here that I maintain for a variety of reasons. And I'm just going to show you the important part. When you go to blogs, you should just see the new blog that you've created. That should be the only title you see. You see 5 up there now because there's 5 that I'm doing something with. Scroll down to the one that you're creating for this course and click on Dashboard. This is basically your central place to be creating posts, to be creating the tags and categories that will help you organize the posts that you make. It will help you do the design of your page. If you click over on Appearance, it'll allow you to change the background. If you would like to change the privacy settings, you can go under Settings to do that. If you want to add hit counters and do other things along those lines, you can go over here onto Tools and play with that. Or sometimes inside of Appearance, you'll have options for widgets. If that all sounded overwhelming, that's okay. You don't have to do those things. Those are optional. And I'm also happy to work with you one-on-one to do those settings if it'll help. But tinker with this a little bit. Play with it. See if you can create a site that works for you. Once you have, and certainly by the end of the week, you need to send me the URL as an email. Send me the URL, the address for the blog that you've created. In the next tutorial, I'll post some how-tos around creating your vlog entry. That's going to be your very first post inside of this week's syllabus components, and inside of this week's schedule you'll also see some other information on that. So for this work, please create your blog and send the URL for that blog to Dr. Cater. At that point in time, after you've sent it to me as an email, I will add you to the class site. You'll start to see when you go to the main class blog that there'll be an emerging list over here along the right-hand column. That emerging list will be our blog role. It'll be a way for us to all be able to look at one another's blogs and to respond to one another's thoughts and to leave comments and to share some ideas. So send me that URL, get yourself started, and I look forward to meeting you on the web.